We're here with our friend Richard Toccato from the Richard Toccato Companies. And, you know, richer people have credit card bills, and they need to use that equity, don't they?
That's right. Use the equity in your home, restructure your debt, save yourself a bunch of money, and it's easy. We've got the instant equity. It's simple. They make you an offer. You can close in 4 days, get your money that quick. Ace, you've done it.
Yeah, I've done it. It'll change your life in virtually no time. Starts with a free 5-minute phone call, 704-800-4719, or online at homewithrichard.com. The Richard Toccato Company.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
They say there are only two things certain in life: sweet deals at Sweet Dreams and taxes.
And only one of those is certain this month.
Which one?
The sweet deals at Sweet Dreams.
What about the taxes?
No sales tax the entire month of April at Sweet Dreams.
Are you serious?
Yeah. And don't call me Shirley.
Love where you live, Lake Norman, and pay no sales tax during the month of April. Only at Sweet Dreams Furniture and Mattress.
It's the Ace and TJ Show with a little extra. Uncensored, unedited, and almost uninterrupted. Get ready for the most extra podcast known to man. The Ace and TJ Show presents the Extra Funny Podcast.
All right. Let me preface this by genuinely telling you that this is not a political rant on my part. It's not a political thing. But there is a story out of New Zealand that fully proves why the government does not need to be in charge of so much of the stuff on which we depend in life. The government needs to stay out of things that the government doesn't know anything about and stop trying to run everything. And I don't care whether they're Democrats running the government or good people running the government. The government needs to stay out of people's lives in U.S. America, or you end up with stuff like this in New Zealand. There were, I think, about 100,000 people in this New Zealand area who had no power the other day. The power companies and all are run by the government. They're government power companies. Okay. And they had sent 3 of their workers. This is a proper use of the term worker. They work for the government. And they were doing a routine maintenance deal on, you know, when you see those huge towers that are electrical towers, and they have lines that go from one to the other, big metal towers, like they're shaped like the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
You see them everywhere.
We called them a high line when we were kids. You get one to the next to the next to the next. Yeah.
And so what happened was they went out there to work on this thing, and that thing is bolted into cement because it's so heavy and everything, and it's bolted into that. And whatever they had to do to work on it, they had to loosen those bolts a little bit to where it was. Well, they weren't thinking about it, and all 3 of them just got on, you know, one corner or whatever of the tower and just took off the bolts. Well, when 3 of 4 feet, you know, that are bolted into the concrete are unbolted, guess where that goes?
One way.
To the ground. Just ripped everything to the ground. Just boom.
Oops. You're telling me all those people, nobody said, hang on, guys, we can't undo all these at once.
No, it's not. So there it goes. Boom. And they could have even, I picture them racing each other and going, I'm going to get mine off first. Oh, you're not. I got it.
And there's a moment in any type of instance like that where as it starts to happen, when you realize, oh, wait a minute, but there's nothing you can do. And that's the worst moment. It's that when the realization hits you like, oh, wait. Too late. Here we go.
But I don't understand what they were doing as maintenance that would have to take those bolts up anyway. Yeah. Were you just trying to even them out like a table leg at a restaurant? You put a napkin under one leg?
What the hell is that? I bet those bolts are huge, too.
They got to be big.
Yeah. But I mean, really just to the ground.
Wow.
And now they're having to do investigations into, what happened and all that. Well, what happened was you got 3 idiots that went out there to do something.
Here's your investigation. You pull them in and go, what the hell are you thinking? What are you doing? That was one of the things I learned as a kid. If you're lost or you get in the woods, never cross the creek. Mm-hmm. And if you find a high line, follow it.
Just keep going on.
Just keep going. It'll take you somewhere. Because we had a bunch of around my house. We'd go riding bikes and 3-wheelers on the woods. Like my dad always taught me, if you ever get lost, when you hit a high line, just follow that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, the high lines, though, where we grew up, they're giant wooden poles that kind of look like they're just spaced out, and then they have the other part in the middle that connects them, like creosote poles and stuff, like telephone poles they used to call them. And then that would go for miles and whatnot. And you could go and set up a deer stand on the edge of the woods that faced that lane where the high line was, and they called that hunting the high line. And when a deer stepped out there to eat the grass in the opening, you just put the meat on the ground right there. Put that meat on the ground.
They're exposed at that point.
I'm surprised New Zealand has power. Quite honestly, the whole time I'm like,
I know.
they have power in New Zealand.
They have some pretty, I think they have 2 pretty big cities in New Zealand.
Auckland.
Yeah, I don't know how big Auckland is. It might be just
Whatever that city they show in New Zealand on, I think it's Down for Love, a Netflix show where people living with Down syndrome are looking for mates. It's beautiful. It's right there on the harbour.
Yeah,
It's pretty. It's probably
Auckland-
so expensive to live there, though.
Auckland's about as big as Charlotte, 1.6 million people. When the next biggest city has 470,000. So they got one big city.
Yeah.
Ain't got nothing.
Well, I mean, it's not that big. It's about as big as the entire state of North Carolina, I believe, if that.
Yeah. I think, easily Oklahoma could beat the hell out of it in a war.
You went to war with Oklahoma, and Oklahoma won. I believe it.
But what is the difference? And I know I'm not saying this just to aggravate people. But what is the difference between the New Zealanders and the Australian people? I mean, as far as the way they act and their traditions and stuff like that. Is there a difference?
I don't know.
They call them Kiwis, right?
Yeah. And their accent is similar but different.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, like if you're around one Australian guy and one New Zealand guy, and you go, oh man, you can tell that's the New Zealander, or that's the Australian, like when they're doing something stupid.
Yeah, all I'm finding is the differences between the countries, not
Yeah.
like the accent is a little different. Nobody cares. It doesn't have anything about how they live.
Right, because there's a clear personality difference between a Southerner and a Northwestern person, from someone from the Great Northwest,
I think
or the just okay Northwest.
I think New Zealanders are a little more laid back in general.
Really?
I think
You
so.
mean they don't fight as much?
Yeah.
Because an Aussie will want to fight
Yeah,
at the
they'll
drop
fight.
of a hat.
If you don't drink a Guinness or whatever, they'll get you, or whatever they drink.
Guinness.
Yeah. They drink Coors Light, Rob.
Fosters or something.
No, they don't drink Fosters.
They don't?
No. Not when we were in Australia. They would make fun of people for drinking Fosters. I think their number one beer, back then it was Victoria Bitter was the number one beer. Because they explained it to me like it was the Budweiser of Australia, like meaning it sells in Australia like Budweiser sells in U.S. America. And then I would say, well, I wouldn't hit a dog in the ass with a Budweiser.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, nice try.
So let me try something else, sir.
Victoria Bitter is still on their list of best-selling, but their number one now is Great Northern Super Crisp Lager. That's way too long of a name.
Great Northern Super Crisp Lager.
I'd like to try it.
Yeah.
We tried a craft beer the other night that it was one of those where they didn't have normal people beer, and I said, the closest you have to a Miller Lite, and he brought it out there, and it was like drinking kerosene. I was like, oh my god,
Really?
Yeah.
Did it look like a Miller Lite? Like
Yeah. It wasn't all cloudy and all that like some of those IPAs are. Aren't they the ones that they call them hazy? You know, where you can't see through them and all. They look like they got milk floating in them or something.
Oh, my eyes are burning.
Ugh. Yeah. It's like, get those flames away from me from those candles, because I know I just drank some kerosene. It is just awful. Oh.
Do you finish it or you send it back?
Oh, no. But Michael will drink it. Handsome husband Michael will drink any of it. He doesn't care. He'll say, no, I mean, I didn't like it, but it was beer.
There you go.
Don't want to waste it.
It's the Ace and TJ Show with a little something extra. This is the Extra Funny Podcast.
Our friend Richard Toccato from the Richard Toccato Companies is here, and we're talking about home improvement. That doesn't just mean, like, my wife thinks our home would improve if I left it. That's not what that means, is it?
Yeah, for Jody, that would probably help her out. But for everybody else, we need a sun deck or they want a backyard kitchen. It's an easy phone call to 704-800-4719 or log on to homewithrichard.com.
Now, you've got the money in your home. Let Richard find it. HomeWithRichard.com. It's the Richard Toccato Companies.
Richard Toccato Companies, Equal Housing Opportunity, NMLS number 38652.
When it comes to losing weight, sometimes you don't even know where to start. You know that it needs to happen, but you need some help. Well, you start by going to acetj.com/weight loss and ordering Calitrin. Calitrin is scientifically proven to help you lose weight, and it is not a drug. It is not a drug. Repeat that. So here's what you do. You go to acetj.com/Calitrin, order 3 months, and then you'll get 3 months free. 4 months free. That's how it works with Calitrin.